My name is Melissa Bradford. I am a staff member at Tallgrass and also a parent. I helped found the school when my children were younger, and they both graduated from the school. I got involved in this education because I was a teacher in a public school, and I really saw I really felt the constraints of being a teacher in a public school. It was very hard to cultivate good relationships with my students because I had 150 students, 30 at a time, classroom of, for 40 minutes, having to get through this textbook. And so having that sort of opportunity to really know each other was just so lacking. And so I came across a book called Free at Last about the Sudbury Valley School. I read it and I was just kind of blown away by it. From a teacher's perspective, having that opportunity to not have to force children to do things they don't want to do just because I have to do it. I feel like there's such a difference between forcing people to do what they don't want to do and setting boundaries for yourself. Like, it's one thing to say you can't cross this boundary into bothering me or enforcing something on me, but likewise, I can't do that to you. That's very different from saying, I'm a teacher, I have to make you go through this curriculum whether you like it or not, and I have to judge you, I have to evaluate you, and I have to tell you if you're good at it or bad at it. That was not a good feeling to be in that position. And so to find out that I didn't have to be in that position at a school was really freeing to me. We think about the students being free, but I think it's also a freeing position for a teacher. So I read about this book, and I just knew right away that this was what I wanted. And so I contacted other friends, and I started putting the word out and finding other people who are interested in this kind of education. And that was it. Started the ball rolling. My role here at Tallgrass, I guess we all wear a lot of hats. There are a lot of different responsibilities we all have to take on, but what I do here on a student level is students have certain interests that I share with them. Like I have an interest in science and math. So they're interested in pursuing science, I do that with them. I have an interest in art, so I work with the Art Corporation. I like to cook, so I'm helping the Cooking Corporation. So that's one thing that I do here. When issues come up, I have a knowledge of how Sudbury schools handle things and how our particular school has handled things in the past, why the rules have been developed the way that they've been developed. So I feel like I'm a resource for the Sudbury model. That's another role that I have. And then I'm a resource for the other staff members. We all are resources for each other, so when things come up, we come together creatively to solve problems. And hopefully I'm also a resource to parents. When parents are facing questions. I've been through it, so sometimes I can help them with it. Every day is different. Of course, I come for school meetings. I think school meeting is really, really important to the functioning of the school. It's really the heart of the school. So I make it a priority to be here for school meetings. I usually check in with certain students, especially based on their interests, to see if they need me for anything. I usually walk through the school and kind of check and see if everything is where it's supposed to be and tidy things up a little bit. And I check in with, I check in and see what activities students are doing, if anything's changed since the last time I was here. And I do cooking. Sometimes, for example, today, I met with students who wanted to start the Cooking Corporation, and we looked over the bylaws. Last week we made pizzas and we left a big mess. Sometimes I take students to the store, we walk to the store, or we just, walk around the neighborhood. So it really varies. Every day is going to be different. I try to check in with the staff members every day to see what's on their to-do list and see if there's something I can help them with. I think everybody gets bored sometimes, but I think most people at the school are interesting and they bring interesting things to the table. So sometimes at the end of the day, maybe if some of the students are gone and there's just a couple left, then they might say, oh, I'm bored. But yeah, for the most part, I haven't seen a lot of boredom. How does anybody get exposed to things they don't know about? How do I get exposed to things I don't know about? I guess somebody mentions something to me that I find is interesting. I'm looking at something online and something interests me and I click on it, and that might lead me to something else and I click on that. I think that it just happens very naturally. People share their interests and other people pick up on those interests, and it's an interesting place to be. So it's kind of hard not to be exposed to an awful lot of things. Yes, I often wonder like how the trajectory of my life would be different if I had gone to a Sudbury school. I think that I would have had more confidence to pursue the arts. If I had been at a Sudbury school, I loved to write, I loved to do art, but I never thought of it as something I could pursue seriously because it wasn't valued in school. So I think that's one thing that would have been different. I think I would have been a lot more, maybe more emotionally intuitive with other people. I think I would have loved spending so much time talking with other people. You don't really get the time to do that, to really get to know other people on a deep level when you're in a conventional school. There's just no time. And I also, I grew up out in the country, and I was the oldest of my family, so I think I really yearned for that interaction with other young people, both older and younger than myself. And I think that I would have loved that.